Well, I guess it's about time to dive into the least fun part of working on cars. For me anyways. That's picking through all this 50 years of whatever that is. Here we have some brake parts that I tore out forever ago. Factory Buick floor mat, which I'll be power washing and reusing. And more brake pad stuff, brake shoes, I should say. More locked up brake stuff. New Freedom. That appears to be a female's pad. Fortunately, looks like unused. All right, let's see if I can get this floor mat out. Y'all are gonna want to hold your breath. You don't want to breathe any of this. More brake parts. Not only has this stuff been on here forever, but it's also been flooded. Well, that's what the carpet's supposed to look. Nice black. Got a piece of glass in here from I don't know what. Let's see. It says $800. So this came out of a '68 Skylark back glass. That's about how that went. 5 of the 6 bolts actually came out easy. This front one, the head was just rusted off of, so I had to grind it out. But we're gonna drag that seat out and kind of get all that out of the car and into a burn pile. That's not what I was trying to do. Come on. That was unplanned. It's loose. Okay. Go try to get it out. Oh, that's disgusting, man. I don't even want to know what that's in there for. This is so gross. 1975 license plate. Apparently, whoever used this car just got done with the napkins and whatnot and just shoved them right under the seat. That's nasty. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and back away from that. I'll set you guys up, and if there's any metal hardware or anything in there, I'll pull it out. Otherwise, I'm gonna roll all that garbage up and try not to breathe. Okay, a few spark plugs and bolts. Don't want to throw that in my burn pile. The rest, get out of here. Nasty. Yuck. I am not enjoying this, guys. if you got old ride you're wanting to store for years, pull the carpet out. That way you don't wind up with this. Because let me tell you, this ain't fun. Come on, you little rascal. Well, that's what's up. Needless to say, full floor pans have worked their way higher up the list. But after a quick power wash, I won't be afraid of getting hepatitis just getting in the car. Well, I've given the old Flintstone car floors a bleach bath. They're all wet and shiny. Sprayed everything kind of down low. Try to go out, kill some of the whatever stink is left in here. Really doesn't smell bad now, but disgusting carpet out. So my next objective is going to be to vacuum the interior out, vacuum seats, you know. And I wanted to do some experimenting with a couple of cleaning chemicals to see how much of this discoloration will come off the seats. Most of it I think will just wipe off. But I'm also going to remove what's left of this headliner. It's pretty annoying. What's up above it looks pretty clean, so just gonna chop it out of the way. Get that out of my head. Basically, I want to get the interior of this car clean so that I can actually jump in it and drive it and not feel like I'm gonna die. But then I'll do the same to this seat here, vacuum it out. It's in real bad shape, so not sure what I'm gonna do. I've got another seat like this that I think is in better shape, that I think is also white. I might throw in it. Doesn't have that split bench thing in the middle of the armrest, but I don't know. For now, we'll just clean that, throw it back in there. Have to excuse my stupid rooster. He's interested in interrupting regular programming today. What I'm gonna try to do here is I've got plain old Clorox spray bleach, which I have not really used much in trying to clean, and then I've got this regular old lacquer thinner, which I have used. So I want to do a side-by-side comparison about which one will clean this, basically just mold off this door. So we'll give some spritz on this half with the bleach. I can't spray my thinner on. I'll have to wipe the thinner on. Most of this will come off. How effectively it'll come off, I don't know. Obviously it needs new door panels and stuff like that, but for this car, my standards are not as high as they are for other stuff. So I'll let that soak for a minute. And I'll just wipe this. This is thinner. Try to kind of get it all on there. A little bit damp. Let it penetrate. As you see, that bleach is working really fast, as is the thinner. Fortunately, this is all white, so bleach is not an option for a lot of colors. Thinner will work on most different vinyls, but you got to be careful that it doesn't take the finish off. Okay, so to not make this an unfair comparison, I'll go ahead and wipe the bleach before it soaks much longer. Well, I would say that the bleach is more effective, but the bleach also has more time to soak, so. The thinner is also effective, but harder to apply. So I would say the bleach is going to be the best cleaning agent for this. I want to show you all how effective this bleach spray is in cleaning interiors. I would be real careful with the darker color interior, but white, obviously, worst that's going to happen is it'll turn white. I'm going to clean half of this seat. I'll let that soak for a minute and bring you back. Alright, well, this has been soaking for about 15 minutes. Obviously, to do a good cleaning on this, I'd take it out, and I will, but right now I'm just piddling. Well, I'm pretty impressed. This is literally 2 minutes of scrubbing. It's an astronomical difference. I mean, the vinyl's still all kind of yellowed and tired, but just with a little scrub brush, bristle brush, getting down in those cracks, and a few more minutes of work, this thing would look really good. That's 30 plus years of stuff, 5 minutes of work. Here's another comparison from the door panel, which you saw me do, and the interior panel in the back. Like, that's not bad at all for 5 minutes of work or whatever. So if you got some old junker sitting in your yard, you can just breathe a little life back into her. If you're worried about the color, you just spray it on a rag and just go real slow, start in an area where it's not noticeable. Maybe you can breathe some life back into your junk. Well, we're about to do us a little headliner delete on this here car. I'm going to start this headliner delete project by pulling out the visors. Headliners for these are pretty cheap. I am looking forward to getting this interior kind of cleaned up and unfortunately, got to do headliners or floor pans first. But that's the way it goes. This headliners is super brittle. It's gonna cut out. I'm not gonna fool with pulling it out of all the areas it's tucked up in. Oh look, you can see herself. Sure sign there's a girl rolling around in this car. The guy I got it from, he told me that their family kind of used it as a little family car. And then when him and his sisters got old enough to go to school and drive, from what he said, I think they all shared it. I think the girl was driving it last. Which would explain all the makeup, personal hygiene products, and whatnot. Remember, this is back, well, it's got 1980, 81, and I think 1982 high school parking stickers in it. So back when, in that particular time, this car was 12 years old, so I mean, this thing wasn't anything special. It really still isn't, but this is just a used car. So that'd be like a 2010 Mustang, you know, in today's world. To me, these cars are ancient. But when I was born, let's see, as the 60, this car was 69, 79. So this car was only 15 years old when I was born, so this wasn't even considered an old car yet when it was taken off the road. She shows on the odometer 35,000 miles. Whether that's 135 or a legitimate 35, I don't know. The pedal pads aren't worn very badly. But based on the amount of oil and stuff underneath the car, I don't know, I'd be more inclined to believe it's got 135. But it could be 35. I mean, how many miles would a car like this accumulate in 15 years? The last state inspection in Oklahoma was in '84, so it had to have been off the road then. So I just can't imagine parking a 15-year-old car unless it had a majillion miles on it. Okay, let me find my box knife so we can the headliner out. It'll tear almost as easy as it'll cut. Well, I think I made the right choice in you know, giving this car a second shot as opposed to knocking it in the head. And what's y'all's opinion? Should I have just parted her out and walked away? I sure could have used some of the parts on a couple of my other cars that are a lot more rare than this one. Man, I just can't hardly crush something out that is just really not in that bad a shape. I mean, now for a lot of people, this car is way too far gone, but I mean, I do this stuff every day for a living, so it's not like, it's not that bad. I'll say, I've saved a lot worse cars, I'll say that. I brought back cars that were in a lot worse shape than this one. And there's just something about the feeling you get when you bring one back from basically a pretty much a certain death situation. Let's see, I'm gonna go all the way to the back of the sail panel. All right. When it's time to put a headliner back in here, if y'all want, I'll show you how to do that too. I gotta learn how to get edit my videos and get music in them, some kind of tunes. So if any of y'all have any insight in that, holler at me. I know I can do quite a bit of stuff through the online or the desktop YouTube channel creator stuff, but like I said, I don't have any internet out here. No internet at the house. The fastest internet available that's like, you know, that's not fiber optics, which is not even an option here, is like 5 megabits per second, extremely slow. So it's kind of a I'm out of luck kind of thing there. Well, the old headliner delete is complete. It's in really good shape. A lot of times this stuff will just be rusted out. It's in remarkable condition. It's a good idea to leave the bows in place, just so you can pay attention to where they're located in the headliner, because the bows are different colors, different shapes, so you just leave them where they're at. It don't hurt them to just chill there. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and snip out the back seat, this lower part, just to clean underneath it, and just clean this lower section. It's pretty dirty down in that V there. For you numbers guys, this is the seat belt, 17A69. Seat belt is manufactured. But I'm gonna probably clean up the visors and stuff them back in there. So, well, I got the lower rear seat snaggled out of there. It's not too bad, but there is one sad announcement. Fievel didn't make it. Let's have a moment of silence for him. Well, I've given it a pretty thorough cleaning. Vacuumed out most of the loose rust. Given all the interior panels a real quick bleaching. You notice those two lower sections, that piece and that piece, are slightly more yellow. It's just from a different batch of vinyl, clearly. It'll still clean up some, but it's late and I'm ready to go in. So I only got one thing keeping me from being able to start this car without popping the hood, which would be pretty handy because I don't know. Anyways, I'm not getting 12 volts while cranking. So there should be a yellow wire going from the starter to the coil, and it is on the starter. Already know that. It is not on the coil. So Somebody's done some magic work under here. I don't know. Might be Martians, might be my brother, who knows. I'm gonna stick my head in here and see if I can find out why I don't have that. Need to vacuum all the tastiness off the top of this thing. Been some mice up in here and a whole lot of dirt and dust and all kind of whatnot. If you look here, this is a factory wire coming from the ignition, the resistor wire. This black one here is my coil jumper that I have to pop on it to get the thing to start. So I need to get up in here in this wiring harness and see where my yellow is. I've poked around, I don't see any other wires dangling down there, but I'm gonna stick my head down in there and see if I can find a mouse or something to bite my finger. But I'll bring you back when I figure out something, hopefully something. That big loop of fuel line in that filter, that's not permanent. I'm just gonna run it for a while until make sure that I don't have any more junk getting into the carburetor. That filter we put on the other day down there should catch pretty much anything coming through. So this with one here ain't necessary. Well, the solution to this problem may already be right in front of my face. The wiring harness for the starter comes from the starter down around the front of the motor and comes up back there behind the alternator. I peeled all the wiring off, or the dirt off, I should say, looking at all my stuff. Look at this factory splice the tape totally disintegrated off of. I believe I'll go ahead and fix that. But anyways, what I did find is this wire right here is your resistor wire. It's cloth covered. And peeking under here, I don't know if you get you an angle you can see, this wire right here, see this electric tape? There's the yellow coming up from the starter, comes in along with the red that's going to the coil, has this little splice right here, which to me looks like factory. And I guess it just, when the power cuts out to where my thumb is, coming from the ignition switch, it just loops back through this joint and goes right to the coil. So that wiring is intact, which could mean that the old starter had just failed internally and wasn't supplying 12 volt to the coil. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a new negative battery cable on here. This one's too short. We got the battery all pulled out at an angle. Just gonna go down there, finagle that on there, and then put some gas in the tank, and I'll find out real quick if we're getting voltage when I'm cranking. Well, if she hits a lick, I'll know that we got a functioning cranking voltage, obviously. And I'll also know if my gas gauge works. I have no gas in it, so cycling the key, it should go to E. Real good chance that the old fuelie gauge there is dead. Oh, I got a working fuel gauge, looks like. Cool. Give her a few pumps of the gas. The tank is bone dry, but there's a little bit in the filter. So if it'll hit, then my problem is solved. Oh yeah. Voltage for days. She cranks with gusto now. Trying to get gas pulled up to the carb. I'm wondering how much dirt and junk will get sucked up in that old fuel line. Not pulling fuel yet. About to get it. There she goes. Notice, first start with the hood shut. I gotta remember I don't have no brakes. I'm gonna have to put you down so I don't run over stuff. Well, she's doing it on her own. Got the Marvell mystery oil and some ATF in the crankcase. pulling fuel. Not smoking. Runs pretty good, except for minor inconvenience of no brakes and that lifter rattled. Looks like I need to tighten the alternator belt. Well, I forgot to hit record button when I brought this little beast back here, put it back in the barn. Now she just smells like bleach instead of the Black Plague or dirty undies or, you know, stuff you don't want to smell. She cleaned up pretty good. I mean, I'm still sitting on a gigantic hole in the seat, but it ain't too bad. It's a starting point. Definitely going to be doing floor pans soon. Cleaned up reasonably well. It's tolerable anyways. Well, next on the list would be the brakes. Sorry, I got dust in my nose. Brakes are going to be next up on the list, and I bought a couple of used tires real cheap, 20 bucks a piece, and get those on there, get the brakes on here, and get the insurance going, and we'll be heading down the road on the first test drive in decades real quick. I'm looking forward to that day. As always, I appreciate y'all fellers following along, and like and share, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Closing in on 1,000 subscribers. It's going to be exciting. I'm shocked that many people want to watch my junk, but appreciate you.